It'd be hilarious to wear these year one.
Let's do it.
Okay. Christmas in July.
We can do that.
We should have a
But what would I wear?
Christmas in July party. Christmas in July party. That'd be awesome.
That was my joke. That's a Grinch.
Is it because I'm green? Hello. Welcome to No Expectations Video Store. Come on in. Make yourself comfortable. Take a look around. Roam down the aisles. See if you find a video that catches your fancy. I'm Ben.
I'm James. Max here.
And today we're going to be doing a very special Christmas episode on How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 2000 film starring Jim Carrey.
Directed by Ron Howard. Written by Jeffrey Price and Peter S. Seaman. And it's, of course, story by Dr. Seuss.
Beautiful.
On the outskirts of Whoville lives a green, revenge-seeking Grinch that we all know well from the Dr. Seuss story. He plans to ruin Christmas for all the citizens of the town.
So, I think we all grew up with this. We all really appreciate it. And looking back on it, this movie still really holds up.
Yeah, it does. I love this. I mean, of course, because Jim Carrey, this is the series of Jim Carrey. And this film, is perfect for him.
I love the way you said that. The series of Jim Carrey.
The series of Jim Carrey.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
But yeah, this one, I don't know. It feels newer than it actually is. I can't believe this is a 21 going on 22-year-old movie. Watching it, I was like, dude, this holds up. The set design, the costumes, just the vibe of it, the humor, everything is
so fun.
Really well made. Really, props to Ron Howard. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even going to Universal Studios, you get to, it's still there, the set.
I didn't see it last time. Was it there last time?
I think we took a different route. It's usually, it's there still because right now for Universal, there's doing the Grinch walk-in. You can meet the Grinch and everything.
Oh, interesting.
The guy who plays the Grinch as well.
Really good.
He's really good.
Yeah, really good.
Almost Jim Carrey.
Those are some big, pointy shoes to fill. That's impressive. Or does he wear shoes? Or doesn't he just have big...
I think he has pointy shoes.
Furry feet.
It's it almost looks like a Christmas hat.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't he have bells on him at some point?
I don't know about the bells.
Maybe I'm making things up in my head. I don't know. But one thing I do remember is on the studio tour at Universal Studios in California, going there probably about, not this last time we went, which was just a couple months ago, but back, I want to say 6 years ago or something like that. Whoville was looking pretty run down.
It was.
It was looking pretty. It was looking pretty rough.
We went there in 2015. It wasn't looking good.
Yeah, I want to say I went right around there, 2014, something like that. And it was time to move on. It was time to let go of those remnants of Whoville. It was looking a little pathetic, but that movie though, damn, they did a heck of a good job.
Yeah, I mean, for a short Dr. Seuss book and even the classic cartoon, they really went all out with it.
They really did. It beats the heck out of the Cat in the Hat, in my opinion.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they thought they could replicate the magic and be like, oh, well, it worked well with Jim Carrey. It worked well with everything. Cat in the Hat was probably a year or two later, I would say.
Fun fact about Cat in the Hat, that ruined any more adaptations. Adaptations. Man, I can't fucking speak right now.
It's okay. It's all good.
Adaptations of any live action Dr. Seuss movies. They have a contract with
right.
with his wife or some of his family.
The estate, right?
Yeah, they said you can only do animation now because of Cat in the Hat.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But hey, we got some Smash Mouth music out of it, so it was a win-win. But I don't know, man. The Grinch, super unique, and they really took a chance, and it worked really well. This is our friend Jenny Himmis's favorite movie.
Really? It's her favorite movie?
Well, her favorite. I think her favorite Christmas movie.
Christmas movie?
Yeah, favorite Christmas movie. I think Back to the Future is her favorite. Movie.
I mean,
but fun fact, so a lot of people do have a deep love for the Grinch. They grew up with it. This is not one that I watched on repeat growing up. I watched it just kind of randomly here and there. I think I've probably seen it a total of 2 or 3 times in my life, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, or clips of it. It's not one that I can quote or anything like that.
I can quote a little bit of it, but not. I usually watch it once a year for Christmas time.
Yeah, I would say probably, if I had to guess, probably 3 times in my life I've seen it.
Oh my gosh.
Including the
That's surprising. What about you, Max? How many times have you seen this?
I've seen this movie one time, second time for the show, but I've seen the animated version
many times.
Countless times.
We're talking about the classic cartoon.
Yeah.
I've seen that one a lot.
Yeah, same.
Too.
Yeah, whenever
classic
I get the
cartoon,
kids
probably 20 times. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say same as you. Classic cartoon, tons of times.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I get the kids around for the holidays, it's always, this is a good one because it's I mean, the shorter one was always a good one because it's short. It's 30
and it holds
minutes.
the kids' attention.
They can keep their attention for enough time. But I really like the way this Jim Carrey version turned out. He is like the animated mess that Jim Carrey is. He played this role really well.
Jim Carrey loves Christmas movies because he was also in Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that film.
Yeah, I never saw it.
I love Zemeckis.
Yeah, I love Zemeckis too. I never saw it. Believe it or
Yeah,
not.
you don't need to see it. You've seen A Christmas Carol
You've seen
thousands of times.
You've seen one. You've seen them all. Yeah.
Yeah, except for Scrooge.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, Scrooge is special. Scrooge is special. The Muppets Christmas Carol.
That's a good one.
That's a solid one.
There's only a few Christmas Carol movies.
Yeah, didn't Patrick Stewart do one in the 80s?
I think he probably did.
Patrick Stewart, good man. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc. But yeah, this movie, super interesting. You want to dive into some fun facts? Because I don't really have much aside from what we already talked about with like the visuals being so beautiful. I really don't.
I want to talk about a little bit. Just like I've talked about how like Jim Carrey, like his like performance-wise of singing and everything, and like the music in this film was like, great for Christmas music.
Oh, of course.
And then just him just singing around in this film is like
Yeah.
really like, dude,
He's a talented mofo. He's a talented
so
mofo.
talented, and I love Jim Carrey. I think,
Carrie Carols.
yeah, Carrey Carols.
It's hard to do a movie like this because it's such a well-loved movie already. And I think they hit the nail right on the head.
Totally.
They made that 2018 with Benedict Cumberbatch animation one. It was okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it needed to be made.
Yeah, it was not necessary. I saw it. It was really beautiful in terms of animation. Like you look at it, like you could see the hairs and the glistening snow, and like everything was like super detailed. They did a wonderful job on that. But did it need to be made? No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm happy just watching this one or the old classic.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah,
just reading the book, honestly.
this one I feel like they took a risk. I mean, like what an interesting time for movies, like late '90s, early 2000s. Seems like they were like really willing to try new things.
They were. Yeah.
I mean, you get How the Grinch Stole Christmas live action with Ron Howard directing, like super unique, but they pulled it off. I mean,
Especially,
way better than you expect.
What did Ron Howard do before this? Like,
He directed Cocoon. I think he did Cocoon: The Return. I don't know what else Ron Howard directed, to be honest with you. He was Opie.
yeah, so it was just completely just different. Like, I think he was like more getting popular now, right? And then like just doing The Grinch was just. It's like Jon Favreau doing Elf.
Exactly.
It's one of those things. Like, wow, coming from this director, the guy who did Iron Man did Elf,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ron Howard doing this.
Yeah, super unique.
It's just it's a unique film.
Ron Howard. Let's just talk about Ron Howard for a second. What an interesting career, like being in the spotlight your entire life, essentially growing up in your formative years in Mayberry, like, and then going on to Happy Days.
Happy
like his
Days,
teenage years were Happy Days, and then being a director, like probably in his 20s. I mean, Cocoon, he must have been like in his 20s when he directed that, or maybe early 30s.
Yeah, he was young. He was a young director.
Which is ironic, but yeah, kind of underrated. I feel like, and then also he gave us Arrested Development. We wouldn't have Arrested Development without Ron Howard.
If you're kind of drawing a blank on Ron Howard, here's a picture of him.
Sure.
He's worked on Beautiful Mind, Apollo 13, Parenthood,
Apollo 13.
Splash.
Wow, I forgot.
Did the Da Vinci Codes too, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super great though. Apollo 13, man, that is super underrated. That was a really good movie of his too. So the man clearly has ties with Universal Studios, because I remember going to Universal Studios, and James remembers this too, back when we were kids, and they had cutouts of the Apollo 13 guys that you could take pictures with. Those are since gone, unfortunately.
I think I still have a photo somewhere.
I do too. Max, do you remember that? Do you remember the Apollo 13 guys at Universal Studios?
Oh, yeah.
Masterpiece. Beautiful Mind, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't think
I don't remember it.
I didn't appreciate it, but I'd be willing to go back and check it out. But yeah, Ron Howard, sleeper hit maker.
So I think he was 46 when he directed The Grinch here, if my math's correct. Yeah, wow, he's getting up there. He looks pretty good. He looks healthy.
So he's got to be 67 now.
Damn.
Ron Howard, man. But the same age as Willem Dafoe.
Oh.
They're the same age. Fun fact. So I think Ron Howard is actually the Hobgoblin. That's what I found. But yeah, what more can I say about The Grinch? Do you have any childhood memories of watching this movie, James?
Not much. I mean, I just like watching it for the first time. I think I saw this in theaters.
Did you?
I think.
Wow.
I'm not sure. Maybe I still have it.
I don't remember the first time I saw it. I feel like it was just one I caught on TV.
I know I had it on VHS. It was one of those ones that still like VHSs and DVDs was creeping, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have like the VHS I don't still have it, but I had it.
Yeah, there was an era where it was like you could get VHSs like really cheap because
Yeah,
DVDs were
were
becoming
coming in.
mainstream, and it was awesome.
It's like DVDs now with Blu-rays. Like
Exactly.
DVDs are so cheap right now.
DVDs are so cheap, but you're like, well, I want that good aspect ratio and that clarity of the Blu-ray and the HD.
I don't know. I just always remember fucking the songs in here, like
Horrible songs. Horrible songs. The Whoville songs, I don't like them. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I know, because me and my brother would just joke around with we still do it like to this day. It doesn't have to be Christmas time. We would just we'll just be like, it's a dumb song.
That's gorgeous. Yeah,
but it made an impact in me, like my brain. Like it's always been there. So it's,
the Whoville songs, they was kind of irritating.
they were stupid. I just like I said, like the music of Christmas songs were great. Like them singing themselves, not so much.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey singing them, that guy just talk about his
great
range.
job.
That's
Yeah.
all.
I mean, we've talked about that in previous episodes where the man can sing. The man's got
He sure
talent.
can. Yeah, he's very expressive.
Oh yeah. But aside from the amazing set design and the amazing Ron Howard and the amazing Jim Carrey, let's dive into some fun facts on this bad boy.
Fun facts. All right, so I'll start first.
Okay.
Jack Nicholson and Eddie Murphy auditioned for the title role of the Grinch before it eventually went to Jim Carrey.
That is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah,
That would have been a radically different film.
Yeah, so I'll alternate casting. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But
Wow.
yeah.
Jack, can you imagine Jack?
I know that
Dude.
would have been. I bet he
I
didn't
don't
want to do
know,
it because this goes within the second fact about this. Max knows, but I bet it's because he probably done makeup before with Batman.
He knows how much of a hassle it is. Yeah.
So
The makeup on that looked hellish.
Max, go in about the makeup.
Yeah, so Jim Carrey had a really hard time with this movie because the call time for this movie was 1 a.m.
Oh.
He just came in and was getting caked with makeup all day, and him along with Mike Myers, I found out they have a weird thing about being touched, and so it was just on top of it just being an arduous task of getting all this makeup on. It's even worse because they kind of already don't like that. And I found out Mike Myers, part of the reason why he hasn't done much after Austin Powers was the fat bastard role really was taxing for him, having to it was a similar thing where he's in there for 8 hours just getting done up.
Looks brutal.
To be a fat boy.
Yeah, it would have been brutal.
I wonder if that's Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Fat
Yeah.
suit, man.
Yeah.
I guess the makeup it took 8.5 hours, and on an average 3 hours of each day after that, Jim Carrey had to have done it 100 times over the course of filming. He actually describes the costume and the prosthetic as literally being buried alive every day, and it was
That is horrible.
And he was trained to how to cope with it by people like the CIA operatives
Really?
to endure torture. So he
That
actually
is
trained
insane.
to do that.
I heard Arnold when he did the Terminator for T2, the really heavy makeup covering half his face. That took about 4 hours every day for shooting.
Really? Yeah.
So pretty intense. And
8 hours, man. Oof.
that's, man, you better be getting paid well for that.
Oh,
They
and
were.
if you haven't looked into it, the Wizard of Oz, some of the makeup techniques that they used for that
Brutal.
are awful.
They were horrific.
If you did that these days, you would catch a case.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what you think about the Wicked Witch of the West, whatever. There's a part where she drops down. She was supposed to be a trap door, and the fire comes out, and it came off too early, and then because the makeup she was wearing was more flammable, so she got really hurt from it.
Yeah, she got really bad burns on her hands, and she had to wear green gloves for the rest of the production.
Yeah.
Isn't that horrifying? And then another one that she refused to do after that, she said, no, I'm not going to do it. So they had a stunt double do it, and it went wrong on the broom, and the stunt double got all burnt up also.
Damn.
Yeah, they were super.
Movies back then.
Super.
guys.
Back then, they were just give some kids some cigarettes and let's burn some people. Everyone was getting fucked up.
Taking some risks.
Tin Man, they
Yeah.
use actual metallic shavings mixed with paint.
Yeah.
And the green, the Green Witch, they were using copper.
Oh, I'm sure.
Freaking just straight metal on their skin.
Well, also the snow. I forgot what they use. It was
Asbestos.
Asbestos, yeah.
It's poison.
Back then, they were just everything's going to kill you, and it's okay.
It's fine.
They were drugging Dorothy. They made her tape her breasts down to make her look more like teenage, and not like a woman. Buddy Ebsen, who ended up being the main guy on Beverly Hillbillies, he was originally going to be the Tin Man, but he had really severe allergic reactions to the paint because it had aluminum in it, and he had these horrible eye infections, and so he couldn't be the Tin Man. So they had to get someone else who
I believe
could
they had him
endure it.
on for part of it, like a few days of shooting, and then they just switched him out. They kept the shots.
Really?
They just switched out the actor.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, they were constantly getting fucked up in Oz.
Hey, great movie though.
Great movie that totally worth it. You know, even though I'm sure they got screwed over in royalties and stuff because that's how it was back then. I remember seeing an interview with the guys who, you know, played Scarecrow and everything later on in like the 60s, and they were super proud of what they'd made.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you know what, even though we didn't make a lot of money off of it, they said this will be around long after we're gone, and we're still talking about it. So super
I mean,
amazing.
the only one that got really fucked up was Dorothy.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah.
But that was because her drug use and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I'm saying.
But yeah. But
Well,
her,
okay,
her
so-
daughter lived on in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Everything circles back.
Dr. Seuss, I guess this year there's been a controversy about him, and a
Oh,
lot of his
fuck 'em.
books got banned.
Oh
Yeah. Those people are idiots. If you want to ban Dr. Seuss, go to hell. Like, you're an idiot. Like, Dr. Seuss is amazing, dude. And he, I don't know. I think at some point they were trying to say that the books were, like, about racism or something like that. It's about one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
It's mostly nonsense.
Yeah, like, if you think that's racist, I think you got bigger problems on your hand than Horton Hears a Who, my friend. Like, you're insane. You're clinically insane.
Yeah, some of these people are just
It's
confused
Dr.
about
Seuss.
which bathroom to use. You know, they shouldn't be in charge of banning books.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of people like that are, I don't know, they're looking for something to get upset
Yeah.
about. You're not really upset about fucking Cat in the Hat or the Grinch. You know what I mean? There's something deeper going on in
It's
your
like
life.
an anger addiction or something.
Yeah, it's like you want to be offended by something, and these people act like they're all puritanical and like they want to clean everything and make everything G-rated. I'm like,
You're just causing more
Yeah.
problems. You're causing more trouble for
and my thing
everyone
is,
else.
Dr. Seuss is about as G-rated as it gets. I don't think there's any
Yeah.
hate mongering.
It's
going on in there.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so people like
Anyways.
that, like, maybe take a step back and look in the mirror for a second before you try to burn books about, you know, the Grinch. Like, you're insane. But at one point, it was so bad. What am I talking about? At one point, what are we talking about?
Oh, we got some more fun facts.
For some facts with the prosthetics.
Oh,
and
you
makeup.
want you knock it out. You knock it out.
Okay, so it was so bad, producers thought he was going to quit, thanks to the frisbee-like contact lenses and the prosthetics being welded to his body.
Oh, brutal. I mean, what's amazing though about it though, if you look at that makeup, you forget it's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, there's parts where
Like-
I forget, but then there's like every now and he slips out with that his little iconic voice.
Like, he did such a good job, and he totally brought that character to life. He was like a walking, talking puppet. There are 40,000 computer-generated trees in the opening shot sequence, all inside one single snowflake. Magical.
I remember hearing about that fact. I
Yeah,
remember
that's
that.
quite impressive, and that's when CGI was really getting honed to perfection. You know, the actors and extras who played the Who's in Whoville had to go to Who school to learn the way Who's behave and act through choreography, and they also had to listen to every album by the band The Who. I made that last part up.
Yeah, the stunt coordinator brought in trained acrobats and circus performers from Cirque du Soleil to make up the Who's in Whoville because of their enthusiasm was so great and they were like always willing to try something new.
That's amazing. Let's talk about our little friend Cindy.
Let's talk about her.
Cindy Lou Who was Taylor Momsen's first taste of the spotlight before she later went on to play Jenny Humphrey in Gossip Girl and be the lead singer of the band Pretty Reckless. I didn't know.
Yeah, she's in a rock band now.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, she's
Let's,
still in there? Let's pull her up.
Yeah, let's pull her up. Take a look at what she looks like now. Cindy Lou Who. She would be about the same age as us. Cutie. She is a cutie. Yeah.
Hansel and
Gretel.
Very good. Oh yeah, she's got it going on.
Oh, we got an
Pretty
ad.
Reckless. I've heard some
I
of her
didn't know
stuff.
she was in Gossip. Never watched it, but that's.
Oh, don't lie. You own Gossip Girl. Come on, all
Oh,
seasons,
yeah.
every season.
No. I mean, it's a very popular show back then, so that's kind of
Good for her.
surprising she was in
Yeah,
it,
Cindy Lou Who.
Little Cindy Lulu.
I would say she's got to be about the same age as us.
I think so.
Yeah.
That or we're a little bit older. I don't know.
Yeah, good for her though. Rocking in a band. That's pretty cool.
Let's see. She was born in 1993, so we've
Same
got a
age.
few years on
Same
her.
age. I'm 93.
93. I mean,
Clark Griswold shirt. Anywho, that's pretty cool. I love seeing people like that go on and do interesting,
something
unique
completely
things.
different. I mean, like
Pretty
more
Reckless.
music,
They're
yeah,
successful.
that.
Like that's
Yeah.
a successful band. So,
Except for little Jake Lloyd,
Jake Lloyd, he's got his own set of issues, but he really rocked it in that pod racer. So you can never take that away from him. In Dr. Seuss's original storybook, the Grinch is black and white with pink eyes. It was only in the animated film in 1990.
Nice comma placement.
He was an African American Grinch. No, he was black and white. And go back up. Okay. The Grinch is black and white with pink eyes. It was only in the animated.
It was only in the animated film in the 1996 that director Chuck Jones decided to make him green.
Later became green. The film reportedly had the most extras in full costume. I can't.
Did you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can
Take
read the
over.
facts.
Take over. I'm laughing.
That was great.
He's a black Grinch. He's a good man.
I don't even remember the book that well.
Really? It was a classic.
Yeah, I mean, I've always watched the classic cartoon. That's a classic.
Oh, yeah. The film reportedly had the most extras in full costume and heavy makeup in over 60 years, taking the title from the very hazardous 1939's Wizard of Oz, which is still a beautiful masterpiece.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas won the Academy Award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling in 2000. In their acceptance speech, Rick Baker and Gail Ryan thanked their crew. Over 150 talented people contributed greatly to the work that we accept the award for.
Cool. Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton almost directed the movie, but he had a conflict with 1999 film Sleepy Hollow, which is also a masterpiece. So the role went to Ron Howard instead. And what's crazy is I actually had seriously considered Tim Burton for my alternate director.
I was thinking too. I think it would have been a little bit darker. Though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would have been wild and would have had Helena Bonham Carter.
I feel like I don't even know if would they even do live action though. I feel like they would have done like some stop motion
or something, like Corpse Bride type stuff. The director was so thankful for Jim Carrey's patience that he came in at 3:30 a.m. one morning to put on the Grinch suit with full makeup. Jim Carrey initially, and so of course they're referencing Ron Howard, Jim Carrey initially thought he was a stunt double that looked nothing like him. That's good for good for Ron Howard, yeah.
Damn.
Good man.
He said it was torture, so...
It sounds hellacious.
Jim Carrey's Grinch suit is covered in yak hair, which was dyed green and sewn onto his Hispanic suit, which made him look very hairy.
He did a very good job with his nasty ass always sticking out.
It was a fat ass.
Yeah.
He had a dump truck.
The Whoville set was built mostly on the backlot of Universal Studios, behind the Bates Motel, ironically. And Jim Carrey apparently ran out in full costume and a fake knife one day to scare tourists. They had no idea it was him. That's awesome.
That's kind of funny. Like,
so was he in full costume as the Grinch, or was he in full costume as
I think he was
Norman Bates?
Oh, that's a good question.
They would know if it was Norman Bates because you'd see it was Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I bet it was the Grinch.
Can you imagine being on that and then after the fact being like, holy crap, that was Jim Carrey.
him.
Yeah, and you're like, no, it was probably a stunt double, and you're like, that was Jim Carrey, I swear.
Last fact, the line 6:30 p.m. dinner with me, I can't cancel that again, was totally improvised by Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, a notorious improviser, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
Just like he did in The Mask. And I'm assuming a shit ton in Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, dude, didn't you say there's like a very extended cut of Dumb and Dumber?
There was, and unfortunately it got lost to time, in the final edit. But originally when they showed it to like initial investors and producers and like a test audience, it was like a 3-hour cut of Dumb and Dumber. And then they said, you got to trim it back. So they really cut it back to like whatever it is now, like an hour and 55 minutes or something like that. And
is it out there?
Amazing.
Can we watch that?
We have. Actually, you can't watch it, but there is a ton of deleted scenes available on YouTube. Like you can watch like a good like half hour worth of deleted scenes, and they are funny as heck. Mm-hmm. Like they don't go with the same movie in terms of like the tightness of the story. Like you can see why they let them go, but they were funny as hell. Like some of the alternate endings they had, they were so funny, dude. Like check them out. Deleted scenes.
Even
on
like the
Dumb and Dumber.
director's cuts, it's funny. I mean,
yeah, it adds a few more like gay jokes directed at Jim Carrey, but it's pretty funny, man. They did it. It's still great, yeah. And I don't care what anyone says. I like Dumb and Dumber as well.
I do too. Not Dumb and Dumber 2 had its moments.
Dumb and Dumber 2 is weak.
It's weak.
I'll go back and rewatch it, and it's funny, but it pales in comparison to the original.
That one's like with influence, like drunk for Dumb and Dumber 2.
100%.
You have to be drunk for that.
And I think last time I watched it, I was. And
I remember, you
right.
you messaging me. You
were, I was like, it's pretty funny, but it's just because I want to like it. Yeah. That's the thing. I want to like it. It's
awkward.
It is what it is. It should have been made about 15 years earlier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just noticed something interesting.
Sure.
Jeffrey Tambor was in The Grinch as the mayor, and he's also in Arrested Development that Ron Howard worked on too. So
yeah,
there it goes again.
Another thing with that shaking hands,
directors like working with this.
Connected.
It's about who you know.
Yeah, and if you guys have not watched Arrested Development, the first 3 seasons are, I think, some of the funniest in television history. They are so funny. After that, when they took a break and they came back and tried to bring it back, didn't work for me. Wasn't great. Too much time had passed, but first 3 seasons, so freaking good.
Well, it didn't do well as a TV show because I I don't know. I guess it was they had to wait too long for the next episode. Like it's more of like
Yeah.
a binge watching oriented show. I think.
Fun fact about Arrested Development, if you guys are fans, all of the scenes at the end of the show that say next time on Arrested Development and it shows what's going to happen next on the episode, that stuff never happens in the next
Never happens,
episode.
none.
So they're just lying to you, and it's just like
Yeah.
random footage. And I remember talking to someone who didn't know that, and they're like, "Oh, I would always skip that. Now I got to go back and rewatch them all." And I'm like, "Yeah, because they don't connect to the next
Yeah.
episode."
I remember watching that. I was like, and then going like, I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
hell?
It's
Like,
totally
the next
brilliant.
episode, I was like, that did not happen.
It's totally brilliant. They did
Yeah.
a fantastic job, and I think that's some of the best.
Good job, Ron Howard. You know
Commu-
what? I don't appreciate it as often. I should. Like
Ron Howard,
yeah.
everybody. Ron
guy.
Howard. Give it up for him. But now that we're in the Christmas spirit, well, actually, before we go on to other movies, do you want to do our recasting for the Grinch?
Yeah. So Ben's favorite segment. And this is one of my. I like this segment too.
It is my favorite. I spend a lot of time
He
thinking
spends a
about
lot
it.
more time on it than
Yeah.
I do.
As soon as I start watching a movie, I'm like, who could it be?
I'll kick it off.
Please.
Yes. So we actually said this. He was actually being cast and considered Jim Carrey. I chose Eddie Murphy.
Oh, classic. Yeah.
Because
He would have been
also-
great.
Yeah, I think he got the range too, and then he, been in the prosthetics and stuff too,
Mhm.
as with Nutty Professor. I don't know if that was
Yeah.
before.
And freaking Norbit,
Yeah,
which would have been a little after.
yeah, that's after.
Roughly.
That's a
couple years.
that's charm.
does.
Eddie Murphy. I think it would have been good.
Yeah.
For his love interest, Christine Baranski, I chose Cheryl Hines. I always thought it.
she would have
was
had a
her.
very Who look to her.
Yeah, that's why I always thought it was her.
She's got a very cute upturned nose. Yeah.
So if you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, which we're fans of because we love Larry David,
Love Larry.
So that's Larry's ex-wife was.
Larry David would have been a great freaking Grinch.
Oh, he'd be a grumpy
He would have been
Grinch.
hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just saying. He would have been great.
Jeffrey Tambor, going back to him. John Goodman. I think
Crossed my mind as
I think
well.
he made a good.
Crossed
good
my
mayor.
mind as well, believe it
Yeah.
or not. Yeah.
Can't get a chubby, jolly guy,
Yeah. Oh,
And he could be an asshole in that movie as well.
of course, yeah.
Director, instead of Ron Howard, I think we have maybe the similar director.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Columbus, who did Home Alone, both Home Alones, 1 and 2, Harry Potter 1 and 2, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Master. Total master. He's familiar with prosthetics and he's familiar with magic and fairy tale
Yeah.
telling and Christmas. So he would have been perfect. Okay, I'm going to my recastings now. The moment you've all been waiting for this whole holiday season. Mine for the Grinch recasting as the Grinch would be David Spade, Norm Macdonald, or Kevin James. And I think that out of these, I just love these guys. David Spade, I think, would be really good. I can see.
so.
You don't think David Spade would crush it?
I feel like, did you really try?
I did try, yeah.
Norm Macdonald. Oh, yeah.
Norm Macdonald would be hilarious. Hey, Christmas. Christmas. Well, think about Norm. People underestimate on him. Big voice actor. He's done a lot of voice acting.
He'd be great for a cartoon, but live act, I don't know.
He would do. He'd be great. I think he'd be great. Kevin James could totally pull it off too.
He could be the
I
mayor.
think he'd be great.
He could be the mayor.
David Spade. I think you're underestimating David Spade. I think he could do it. Okay, director. We had the exact same one. Chris Columbus, Home Alone, Harry Potter 1 and 2. Just great. Just a great director. He knows magic. He knows Christmas time. He knows kid friendly. He would have been awesome. Writer, hypothetical writer, John Hughes.
That would have been good.
I think John Hughes would have been great. Obviously, he wrote Home Alone as well. He wrote Christmas Vacation. John Hughes knows what's up.
He did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. All right.
He did, yeah. Fun fact, if you want to dive into fun facts, again.
Oh, wait, before...
Sure.
Max, did you have an alternate cast for Jim Carrey, at least?
For Jim Carrey, Owen Wilson.
Hell yeah.
I think Owen, yeah.
Hell
Not
yeah.
a bad one.
Actually, that's very solid.
Yeah,
Owen would have been fantastic.
You know, crossed my mind a little bit. It was like Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller,
But
yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah. Owen would have been really good.
I think Owen would have been good.
Ben Stiller had the
Yeah,
experience with the fat suit and
Christmas.
dodgeball.
Wow.
Wow, it's the holiday season. I just don't like. It just doesn't resonate with me.
I wish they would just stop.
You know,
What's happening to
they're
my
always-
heart?
they're-
Wow.
They're always not.
It's
You know,
getting weird.
you know what? You know what's great? It actually shrunk in size, which I was hoping for the last 10 years. I was hoping it would decrease in size because they're always down there singing, and frankly, I don't like it. I don't like it. Fun fact: Boris Karloff did the original voice in the original cartoon back in the day, and he was also the Mummy and Frankenstein. And I just think that's cool.
Those are two of our favorite monsters.
Two of the best. So let's talk Christmas movies for a little bit, because it is the season. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Christmas. I hope everyone had a wonderful Hanukkah. I hope everyone had a tremendous light falling down behind me, Kwanzaa. Yeah, who celebrates Kwanzaa? Come on. But wasn't that a made-up holiday? Let me know if you celebrate Kwanzaa in the comments. Then I'll send out a little apology to you with a Grinch postcard. But yeah, I hope everyone's really enjoying the season, having a good time. I've been trying really hard this year to watch more Christmas movies, because I feel like
I have it too, but I haven't watched enough.
Really, yeah. I feel like last year I just skipped them. I just didn't watch like any. But this year I'm like, okay, I watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop motion one, masterpiece, a real lesson in stop motion animation right there. And that's it. That's all I've watched.
Really?
And then this. And then
I like
this.
those old 12 frame per second.
Those were awesome, yeah. I want to watch Elf. I want to watch Home Alone, and I still want to watch Christmas Vacation and It's a Wonderful Life.
I'm watching Christmas Vacation next week.
Hell yeah. I got to watch Die Hard, too.
Oh, yeah. And I gotta watch Gremlins. Gremlins, Christmas movie.
I just saw it recently.
It's a Christmas movie.
This one's up here. This one's definitely up
I that is. I put Polar Express on. I turned it off. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's been like I haven't really sat and watched a Christmas movie this year.
I haven't been in the mood in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I feel like, maybe it's part of getting older and everything, but I'm just more of a Halloween guy.
I'm more of a Halloween guy.
I'm more of a Halloween guy.
Well, of course we are.
Christmas, I appreciate that when here's my thing with Christmas. It kind of comes on a little early. Like freaking November 1st, they kick on the, in one of our local radio stations goes totally Christmas music. Way too freaking early for me.
Way too early.
But I'll give you 2 weeks around Christmas. But especially the week leading up to Christmas, I can dig on some Christmas action. I can enjoy it. Anything before that, not a huge fan. It's a little sickening sweet. It's too much for me. Max, how do you feel about Christmas?
I'm not big on Christmas movies. We tend to just watch the same ones every year for the nostalgia effect. But I had a really good experience watching this series called Happy with an exclamation point at the end.
Okay.
I watched a few episodes of that. It's actually really good, and I love that actor too.
It's not necessarily a Christmas movie, but it is a movie that happens during Christmas time, and you have a character that dresses as Santa and stuff like that.
Okay.
Similar to Die Hard in that way.
Very violent.
Okay.
It is very violent and very dark, despite the sparkly unicorn character. But yeah, I would highly recommend Happy. If you want something that's kind of a departure from these happy-go-lucky movies, maybe if you don't have any kids, you can put it on. If you have kids, I would probably pass on this one.
Yeah, unless they're real tough.
Yeah,
tough. Do you have any? What's everyone's favorite Christmas movies?
Ooh, I feel like I've got 5 or 6 off the top of my head. Like, It's a Wonderful Life, I think, is one of the pinnacles of Christmas movies. A Christmas Story, great.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't watched that this year yet.
Great movie, yeah.
That's one I'm going to definitely watch.
Yeah, I watched that
Christmas.
one. That was one of the few ones I
Christmas.
did watch last year. That and Christmas Vacation I watched last year. Christmas Vacation, obviously. Home Alone is right up there.
I haven't watched that. I like
Elf.
two.
Two. You like 2 more?
2 more.
Wow, I like it as well.
Get a little Donald Trump in there.
Trump cameo, yeah. Down the hall to the left. Down the hall, grab him by the pussy. But what was I going to say? Elf. I also really like Elf.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's always it's not a Christmas movie. Die Hard. Here's the thing about Die Hard. I know it wasn't released at Christmas time, but we all got to admit, there's Christmas songs in it. There's a Christmas party that happens at it. Like, the whole thing takes place during a Christmas party.
We've had a discussion about this, too. There's another one. There's another movie like this as well, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, which I also think is in the shared universe.
It shows... We'll have a video about that in the future. But it shows a lot more Christmas in that movie than Die Hard.
Yeah, and there's Christmas lights. Here's my thing. Literally, he, gets, tape for gift wrapping to put the gun on his back. It takes place around Christmas time, and there's literally Christmas music in it multiple times. So I gotta say, at the end of the day, I don't think it was intended to be a Christmas movie, but it is. It's a Christmas movie. And honestly, Die Hard, I watch around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Pretty much annually. And even though I think in real life it was released in March in theaters, you look at it, they comment on it, man, this is Christmas music. It's in the fucking movie. So at the end of the day, I hate to admit it, but it is a Christmas movie, and I watch it in December most of the time.
Hey, look, Max has it up there. Gremlins is not considered a Christmas movie to a lot of people as well, and I consider it. It's because it takes around
Totally.
Christmas time.
I heard Fat Man was good, and then I heard from some other people it was bad.
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely it hit for me.
Okay.
It's not your average take on a Santa Claus movie.
What are your guys' favorite Christmas movies, Max? You too.
I'd say Fat Man's top 3.
Really?
No.
What? Okay.
I did like it. Bad Santa, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the third one.
Bad Santa was fun.
Mine's
I don't know. I would just kind of put all of those old claymation stop motion ones up there
Absolutely.
as
those
the,
are up there.
as the one of
Charlie
those.
Brown.
They're just
Christmas,
magic,
too.
yeah.
Charlie Brown, Scrooge,
Scrooge is up there.
Christmas Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I said Gremlins already. Yeah, there's a good amount.
There's a lot of good
Elf.
ones. Yeah, there's more than I remember.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I watch these every year, and I'm like, really, I don't. I watch like 3 or 4 of them, and
Yeah.
that's being generous, you know.
Oh, Jingle All
In
the
the
Way.
comments
Jingle All the
below,
Way.
put your favorite Christmas movie. We want to
Yes.
hear from you guys.
And if you guys want to debate on whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, please feel free. But just remember, at the end of the day, there are Christmas songs in it, and the movie takes place entirely as a Christmas party is taking place, and then gets interrupted. So keep that in mind.
I guess it depends on your definition of a Christmas movie.
Well, I think they're actually
Exactly.
playing that like for this month. I think Die Hard was
Yeah.
for a classic movie
Mhm.
this month. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and my thing is, when people say it's not a Christmas movie, you look at your typical Christmas movie like Christmas Vacation or A Christmas Story, right? Those all take place around Christmas time and on Christmas, and it's usually the build up to it. And there's another story going on as it takes place during Christmas time. So what constitutes a Christmas movie? Does it have to have Christmas in the name? You know what I mean? So it's like, why can't it be an action movie that takes place around Christmas time? You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, that's just the setting, and then the story is usually a little bit different. So unless you really want a straight up, like, 4 Christmases type movie, like, yeah, this falls in that category. Yeah, debate settled. Anyway, yeah, what else?
Scores?
Oh, scores, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So The Grinch, this is a 4 out of 5 for me, I gotta say.
Yeah, for The Grinch as well, 4 out of 5.
I mean, masterful makeup, tremendous acting, great
holds up.
directing, totally holds up, ahead of its time. Max, what do you think on rating?
Yeah. 3, 4 ish.
3.5?
Yeah.
3.5?
Give Max a 3.5. I'm gonna give it
3.5?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
okay.
it a 3.5.
I like the original more.
Of course.
Um,
You're a Boris
so
Karloff
The
fan.
original is a 5. Just
Of course.
Oh yeah, original. Yeah, we gotta talk about the
You're a
classic.
mean one,
5.
Mr. Grinch. You're also the Mummy and Frankenstein. But yeah, 4 out of 5.
He played another monster if you think about it.
He did. Yeah. I would love to see Jim Carrey as a Universal monster. Aside from I mean, technically he was because the Grinch, right? But I would love to see him as like a freaking like
Creature from
doctor.
the, no, I think Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Creature from Black Lagoon. That'd be. I don't know about that one, but maybe if there was a funny creature.
Yeah, I don't think he would do it though because of the prosthetics and stuff.
He's done.
He's done.
He's done. He's done his time in the makeup chair. But anyway, that's all I have to add about that. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful, safe season, and Happy New Year from No Expectations Video Store. As always, be kind.
Rewind.
subscribe and leave a comment below.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you guys.
Merry Christmas.
I'm an idiot!